the disease. And then he gets together with this girl who has also the disease. And they get busy. What is the probability of having a healthy kid? 25%. And then what is the probability of having kids with high cholesterol?
75%.
75%. What is the difference between the top one and the other two kids? The severity of disease. This kid with both alleles from mommy and daddy is going to have super high cholesterol. And I mentioned before the case of my cousin in the Dominican Republic. He's actually getting divorced. That his wife and him, they kind of look like this, and they have 2 kids. They have 3 boys, and 2 of the kids, the 2 youngest ones, they have super high levels of cholesterol. And they're super skinny, they play a lot of sports, but they have been taking Lipitor for the past 10 years. And they're only like, what, 15 and 16 or something like that? So, yeah. Now, the other case is the recessive traits. The recessive trait I mentioned was the green eye thing, but let's talk about a couple of diseases. You have, good example of a disease would be the number 1 autosomic recessive disease in the United States is cystic fibrosis. That's one. Another important cause of disease is sickle cell disease. Now, the sickle cell, here you have a lot of people with sickle cell disease. But in the Dominican Republic, we have sickle cell of the wazoo. Everybody has sickle cell disease in the Dominican Republic. Because we all mix. We play with everybody. We don't care. There's no racism. I mean, of course we're racist over there. Really bad racist. But we don't, we like each other better. So like for example, in my wife's family, even though her mother, you look at the woman, she looks white, and yeah, sure, whatever, but somewhere along the line, one of these ladies, like 100-something years ago, they started messing around with some black guy. Well, guess what? Now they have the sickle cell trait, all of them. My ex-wife doesn't have it, my comadre, her sister has it. So, let's talk about sickle cell. And since it's a recessive disease, it's going to be represented by lowercase. So, what is the probability of disease?
25.
25%. And what is the probability of having the carriers of the trait?
100?
No, 50%.
50.
Oh, I thought we were including.
No, 50% is the carriers of the trait. What is the trait for? What is the advantage, the evolutionary advantage of having the trait?
Malaria.
Malaria, protects you from malaria. And then this guy, he didn't get sickle cell disease. So if I ask you one of these things on the exam, you can do the little Punnett square on the Scantron. I won't mind. It looks cute. On the back of the scan.
Oh, I thought you meant on the Scantron.
Yeah, on the back of the scan.
The front.
I don't care. And the inheritance thing, possible phenotype, boxer, sorry. Here's our example of dominant diseases versus recessive diseases or not diseases, traits, things. I thought somebody called. Anyway. And the inheritance. It got a little bit more complicated. There's an incomplete dominance. There's the multiple allele inheritance. That's where you got the ABO group, all that stuff. and the polygenic inheritance, where you have more than one gene that is involved in the thing. Examples of complex traits include the skin color, hair color, the eye, the height, the metabolic rate, the body build. Not sure why. Now we do the karyotype. The karyotype is really cute. You do that with you can do it pretty much in any cell. Okay? I mean, I can take cells of any of you and do a karyotype. The karyotype is taking the nucleus, breaking it, and taking out the chromosomes during mitosis and mapping them on a picture, and you get your autosomic chromosomes and then your sex chromosomes. Here, this is the Y and this is the X. That's why we men are retarded, because we have just a little thing. We got screwed. Now, if you have a patient who has a trisomy, one of these guys is going to look 3. So, now trisomy 21, which is the Down syndrome. People with Down syndrome don't make it past their 40s because the chromosome 21 is the chromosome that has to do with Alzheimer's disease. So these people, they get Alzheimer's in their 40s and they die of that stuff. You have trisomy 18, also 13. The what?
I think my cousin is in a world record. He's Down syndrome. He's like 50 now. 50.
Go figure.
Yeah. Well,
I'm talking about the generality.
It's not good. No. Yeah, but I think it's a record.
And the males have an X and a Y, and the ladies have 2 X's, and you're gonna have also diseases that are passed from the mother to the boy that are X related. Because what happens is that if you have the phenotype for a disease on your X chromosome, you, a woman, right? The other X chromosome is gonna cancel out the disease on you. But then you get pregnant, you deliver a boy. Well, guess what? If the boy gets a defective X chromosome, then he doesn't have another X to cancel this guy out. So the boy's gonna get the disease, and that's what we call an X-linked disease. And then you have the infertility, males and females. Remember that if you have a husband and a wife, or if this ever happened to you, that you want to get pregnant and it's not working out, first you deal with the guy, because guys are easier to fix. And then you go into the endless dealing with the female reproductive system. And then the congenital defects, there's a bunch of them, and Down syndrome, we'll study about that. We made it. Thank you, Lord Voldemort. We made it. I love Voldemort. He's cool. You ever seen the Villain Club? You never watch any of those videos?
The what?
The Villain Club.
No.
The superhero cafe and the Villain Club. You know